All right, let's talk about the big one. Today, we are going to deconstruct the single most important project for your Web Media Lean Startup course, that A4 Startup Venture Report.
Okay, first things first, let's get one number stuck in your head, 30%. Yep, this one project, all on your own, is worth a massive chunk of your final grade. And you know why? It's the only thing you'll do that pulls together all 4 of the course's learning outcomes. It's kind of the final boss of the course.
And look, when you see a number like that, 30%, it's totally normal to feel, well, a little overwhelmed, right? The brief is super detailed and it can feel like a mountain to climb. So where on earth do you even start? Don't worry, that's exactly what this is for. We're going to lay out a clear roadmap for you.
All right, section 1. Let's really get to the bottom of what this whole thing is actually about.
So, what is this report? At its core, it's the story of your startup journey. You're taking an idea, just a spark, and turning it into a validated solution. And that word validated is key. You're doing all of this using the Lean Startup method as your guide.
And let me be clear, this is not just some essay, no way. This is all about getting your hands dirty. You're going to have to apply the theory, sure, but you're also going to build a real digital product, your MVP, and go out and do actual market research. The whole point is to give you skills you can actually use, in the real world.
Okay, so we've got the why down. Now let's dig into the what. We're talking about the core building blocks of your report, the stuff that's going to make up the bulk of your work.
Think of it like a blueprint with 4 main stages. First up, the value proposition. Simple question, what problem are you solving? Then you dive into market research, who's out there, who are your users, who are your competitors. After that, you build your business model, and then the fun part, developing your MVP, actually building the thing.
And a huge piece of that business model puzzle is the business model canvas. Seriously, this thing is the strategic heart of your whole venture. It's basically your entire business plan on a single page. It forces you to answer the 9 most important questions, like who are your customers, what are you selling them, and maybe most importantly, how are you going to get paid? So what does this look like in practice? Well, you've got your MVP. That needs to be a working website, an app, or at least a solid prototype. But it's not just the product. You also need to build a brand around it. Think name, tone of voice, all that good stuff. And then you'll even create a couple of sample social media posts to show you're thinking about how to actually reach people. It proves you're thinking like a founder, not just a student.
Okay, listen up, because this next part is what separates a pass from a high distinction. For real, this is where a good report becomes a great one. We're talking about testing, iterating, and reflecting. This is where you prove you actually get the whole lean startup thing.
I mean, just look at this quote directly from the brief. It says it all. Your markers don't want a perfect, polished story. They want the real story, the messy one. They want to see how you used your weekly reflections, hear about the tough calls you had to make, the times you had to pivot, and what you learned from all of it. The learning is the key.
And this right here, this is what that looks like. It's the core loop of the entire lean methodology. You start with version 1 of your MVP, right? That's based on all your best guesses. Then you put it in front of actual humans, you get their feedback, and you use what they tell you to build a way, way better version 2. You have to show this before and after. It's non-negotiable.
And just remember, when you get to the end, your critical analysis section has 2 main jobs. First, that deep personal reflection on your journey. And second, something called the LESPI analysis. That's where you dig into the legal, ethical, social, and professional issues that your specific startup might face.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks. In this last section, we're going to pull back the curtain and decode the marking rubric. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to aim for those top marks.
So check this out. We've literally pulled words right from the rubric. See the difference? Proficient means you analyze the market. Exemplary means you showed rigorous thinking and compellingly justified it. A strong MVP will pass, but an exceptional and sophisticated one, that's top tier. It's all about the depth of your thinking and how well you back it up with evidence.
Now, a quick but super important point on AI. Here are the rules, plain and simple. It's okay to use it for things like crunching data, organizing ideas, maybe even helping with some design elements. But, and then this is a big but, it is absolutely not okay to use it to write your report for you. Not a single sentence of your analysis or reflection. That has to be 100% you. Don't even think about it, because that's academic misconduct and it's not worth the risk.
And last but definitely not least, the deadlines. Burn these into your brain. Submission is Wednesday, May 13th. If you're late, boom, your mark is capped at 60%. Wait 3 days, it's a 0. And if you think you're going to need an extension, you have to ask for it before the deadline hits. Seriously, don't throw away marks on something so simple.
So look, at the end of the day, try to think of this as more than just an assignment. It's a chance to build something real, to take an idea you have and actually test it out in the world. This is you writing the very first chapter of your own entrepreneurial story. So, the only question is, what are you going to build?